Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. How are y'all doing today? I am back today after yesterday's video where we started the color palette color along in my coloring group, my Facebook coloring group. And I am working with this color palette. Everybody in my Facebook coloring group should have picked a coloring palette as well as the pencils that they have chosen to go with those. And I have done all of that and I showed you in yesterday's video. Today I'm going to start the page that we're coloring together. This is World of Flowers by Joanna Basford. And we are doing this page. I believe it is called the Floral Heart. And she had recently, or I think towards the beginning of the year, put out a freebie, and I linked that in the group because it included this picture for those that did not have the book. I know some of you decided to order the book, which is great. And if you ordered from Amazon, it probably shouldn't be more than a couple days before you get it. And I will tell you that I take a long time to color, so I will probably be doing this for a while. So you have time. There's no rush. And a lot of you color a lot faster than I do. Anyways, we are going to start by coloring this flower here. And I have all my colors from that color scheme that I just showed you, or that color palette I just showed you. And I kind of want this to be the focal flower, or the one that stands out the most. I don't know if that'll end up happening, but since it's the biggest one, I kind of wanted to make it kind of stand out and then do the other flowers different colors. I mean, that may change as I go along, who knows, but these are the colors that I'm going to start out with. I've got Mulberry PC 995, I've got Hot Pink PC 993, and PC 1013, which is Deco Pink, which is one of my favorite colors to use as like a highlight type color to mix with pinks and purples. But here we've got you in frame, and I am going to go ahead and start. Now, I don't have any ideas really for this. I'm just hoping that I don't put my hands in the way as I go, because with the camera angle I have a tendency to kind of put my hands in the wrong places to where it takes what I'm doing out of view. I'm trying really hard not to do that this time. As you all know, I'm still new to this whole YouTube thing and trying to figure out the camera angles and everything else. Now, when I start and I'm just doing, you know, the first part of whatever I'm coloring, I have somewhat of an idea, but then again, not so much. So I'll start, and I don't know, eventually it usually always ends up coming together, but in the beginning I'm kind of I go slow because I want to kind of watch the color lay down and see how it looks. Now see, I want to show you when I'm doing flowers, you see how this petal is behind this petal and this one looks like it's more to the front. So when I'm coloring, I'll try to kind of emphasize that a little bit. So I'll do that kind of by making this darker behind by doing something like this. Now, I don't know if I'll like this later. We shall see. But after I do the first petal, I'll kind of have an idea of what I'm going for. Now remember, this is just my first layer. And there is a lot of pigment in this color, so I'm not really pressing hard because I will go back in with another layer. Now I'm going to come in with my hot pink, and I am going to come over this one and down a little bit more into, just kind of pull it in like into the center. And I'm thinking that I might want to keep this more on the whiter side to make it look a little highlighted. I'm just trying to think how I want to do that. But these colors, these two colors blend so nicely together. So pretty. When you're coloring, always make sure that you have quite a sharp lead. And I know a lot of people have asked about a sharpener. This is the pencil sharpener that I always use. This, I think you pronounce it Tegall probably, and I always use it on the 2 setting because it saves your pencils. And see, it gives you this kind of lead. Now if you go to like a 3, 4, or a 5, it makes the lead actually longer, and so it's using more of the pencil. So just for saving my pencils, I like to use the 2. Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and come in now with my Deco Peach and see how this looks. I'm not gonna add too much though. I just want to add a little bit of a highlight here. I love these colors together. When you're picking your palette to do this color along with us, make sure that you pick something that just really stands out to you and is going to motivate you to continue coloring the page that you're working on. Because I know sometimes, like, I'll start coloring something and I will just lose all motivation for it and not want to color it anymore. So I try to pick colors that are appealing to me and just kind of motivating and inspiring and make me want to continue to color. Okay, so as you can see, I'm coming back in here and using my darker color to add more definition to this flower. And I'm going to do that at the tips. I wonder if I could get any closer for you guys. Let me see here. Here we go. Sorry if I'm not talking too much. I just sometimes just need to stop talking a minute because I want to concentrate. And I don't know how many of you have done it, but colored with a camera on you. And I don't know, it makes it more difficult to concentrate because my usual coloring atmosphere is playing music and just sitting here by the open window and really just, I don't know, enjoying the peace and quiet. And not necessarily having to talk about it and teach it as I go. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in one more time with my Deco Peach and add a little bit more highlights here. Now I think this is really pretty what I did here. I like it. And see, once the flower starts coming together and it starts coming to life even more, it's just so satisfying. This is just my colorless blender that I'm coming in here with to kind of smooth a little bit of it out. Now this colorless blender will blend the colors together a little too much sometimes, like more than I want to. So I'm really careful about where I put it. Oh, these colors are so pretty together. Yeah, I think it was a really great idea to have this color along. It makes it so much more fun when you color as a group. And I feel that this lead is a little bit weak, like it's going to break. So I'm just going to try to be really careful here as I finish this one off. See, normally I would come in here with a gray to kind of darken these up and use it as shading. But since this is a color palette challenge, that would kind of be cheating. So I'm not going to do that. But I think I really love this petal. And see, now that I went really slow with this first one, I kind of now have an idea of what I'm going for the rest of the flower. So I'm gonna leave that petal like that for now and come in with my next one and see how it's going to look. So see, now when I come in with this one, I think that I'm gonna use my highlight color to the top and make this petal different. Remember, your petals don't all have to be the same when you're coloring. I'm gonna make it a little darker down in here because see, this is where the shadow area is going to be, because it's got two petals here laying over the top of it. Now always remember, with one pencil, it all depends how hard you push and the pressure you put onto the lead, how much pigment is going to go down onto the paper. See how I can push much lighter and then that just really lightens it up. And then that leaves it open so that you could always come in here where it's lighter and add your color that you're blending in with it. Now see here, it's going to be darker because this petal here is behind this petal. And I like to make it look that way. Okay, see how I'm going much lighter up in here? And I'm not going to go up into here because I want this to remain darker than what this petal is. So you'll see the effect that I'm trying to go for as I keep going. But see where this petal right here is in front of this one? So like right here, I do want it a little bit darker. But like later on, I can always come back again and go over it. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with my hot pink. Again, that is PC 993. And I'm just going to add a bit of this brighter color in here. Okay, I have a little bit of a different idea for this one. Let's add a little bit of this lighter color in here to kind of emphasize these lines, but not too much. Because I want to really come in on this one with that Deco Peach to really make this one brighter. I don't like to do all my flowers the same. I like all my petals. See, I go very lightly at first because if you end up not liking what you're doing and you want to come back and quote unquote fix it, if you go too dark, you won't be able to. These colors are so pretty. I'm sure you all can see I take such a long time to color. But I really like to take my time and go for the look that I'm trying to accomplish with everything that I color. That is really pretty. Now I'm going to come back in here with my magenta, or mulberry, I'm sorry, mulberry, PC 9925. And I am going to really darken this up in here. I really want this much darker. So, as you can see, I'm pushing a little bit harder. And then I'm going to come in with my hot pink. And I'm going to fill this in even more. Oh, I love that. And then I'm going to come in with my blender pencil And I'm going to go over this because I still want to leave in the very center. I want to leave a little bit of a highlight in there, which that's how you create a little bit of depth in what you're coloring to make it look more realistic. I'm still kind of trying to figure out like what I'm gonna do here. Yes, I think that looks good. I always like to go over the lines. And then I'm going to come back in with my Deco Peach. I'm going to try to get rid of some of the white that you could still see here. Now this is how you get rid of the white. I know I've seen a lot of you ask in my Facebook group how you get rid of the white that's still on the paper. You just blend, blend, blend. And it gets rid of it. That looks really pretty. Now see what a perfectionist I am. I come in here and I see that I don't like the way this is blending. So, I mean, I come in here and I'm going to go over this a little bit more. There we go. Now, we're gonna come back to our mulberry. And we are going to, where should we go next? Let's go here. The center of the flower is always going to be darker. And use the pressure of your pencil or the pressure of your hand. Always keep your pencil sideways and kind of rested on this back part of your hand. And as you go, you just kind of decide how much pressure you want to apply to the pencil, dependent on how much pigment you want to be laying down. Now see this right here, this leaf is a little bit different, and see how it's kind of folding over. Now see, the way I would want it to look is I would want it to look like the sun is kind of reflecting down on this petal here, because it's like the upside or the flipped side of the petal. So I'm going to want this to be lighter. So I'm probably going to do this with my lightest shade that I chose in this set, which is the Deco Peach. But right in here where it is flipped over, where you see these lines, that is going to be darker. And when you first lay down your first layer, just go slow until you really know what you want it to look like and what effect you're going for when you're blending these colors. Like, see down in here, I need to put a second layer because this area should be darker. Just because it is the center of the flower. And so now I'm going to come in with my hot pink, and I'm going to kind of blend some of this out. But I'm not going to go too fast because I want this area to kind of show a reflection with my, what I like to call my highlight color. So I'm not going to put too much of this. I'm going to come back in with my peach. Coming back with the second layer. This color is really light, but if you go slowly, you can actually, yeah, if you go slowly, you can actually apply more pigment. So I'm going to come back in here. See how I do that? And I always come down over the lines because I really want those lines to stand out. And if you're catching this video and you're not in my Facebook group, I would love for you to join us and participate in this color along with all the rest of us. You just have to go on Google and type in whatever type of color palette you're looking for. I did, I think I put in something like spring flower color palette, and you will find all kinds of stuff. I kind of wanted a spring look for this one, but you can do anything that you want. I'm sure y'all could see why it takes me so long to finish every coloring page that I do. Because I do this with every single one of them. I'm probably going a little bit slower because I'm talking too. Maybe I'll do a color along and kind of speed it up a little bit and maybe add music once I figure out a little bit more of this editing program I'm using. I had a little issue where the camera just kind of shut off on me as I was completing the rest of these. I think where I was is I was coloring right here and I was getting to the top part of the flower where it folds over, and my camera must have cut out on me and stopped recording because the battery went dead. So this is where I'm at so far. I love the way that it's turning out, and I am going to finish coloring the entire flower, and as soon as I'm done, I'll post my completed flower to the coloring group, the Facebook coloring group. I would love for you all to post your progress as you go along in the Facebook group, so that way we could kind of do all of this together as a group and, you know, give each other ideas and share what we're doing, and I think that would be really fun. If you are coming to this video and you're not in my Facebook group, make sure you look down in the description and you click on the link there to go to the Facebook group and put in a request. And I'm usually pretty good about accepting all those requests pretty quickly. I would love for you to join this color along with us as we go. You would just go on Google, pick your color palette, and go from there. And all the information once you get into the group is there for you to post your color palette, the colors you chose, and everything else. And there is also a if you go to the files section of the group, there is also a form in there where you can use to put all your color combinations down so that you know exactly what you used on each different part of the picture and which flower and so forth. I hope you all have a fantastic day and happy coloring.